This is Lee Dort, and I'm down to dunk. This is Lee Dort, and I'm down to Dort.
I'm Josh Giddey, and I'm down to dunk.
Hey, this is Kenny Hustle, and I'm down to dunk.
I'm Darius Baisley, and I'm down to dunk.
I'm Mike Muscala, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Poku, and I'm down to dunk.
I love cereal. Captain Crunch, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Cracklin' Oat Bran.
Oh, I can have these. I'm going to share with my team, but I'm going to hog most of them.
Welcome to Down to Dunk. I'm your host, Andrew Schlechter, part of the Athletic Podcast Network. With me tonight, Alex Spears did not watch the game live. In fact, I don't know if he's seen the game yet, which is a little, I'm embarrassed to be his friend, honestly. And I hope that things change for him. But I had to bring on two people that I thought, how can we capitalize on this night? Well, one, we need just like the most analytical people possible that understand the analytics of Summer League. So I'm bringing on my guy, Tayshawn, and my guy, other part from the room, to discuss this game, which absolute, well, Tyler, I want to start with you. Chet Holmgren, he had 23 points, 7 boards, 4 assists, 6 blocks, which is a Utah Summer League record.
I know.
He only took 9 shots, 5 of 5 from the free throw line.
He only took 9 shots.
How do we? And I know this is Summer League, and the whole time, what you're supposed to tell yourself as an NBA fan is like,
I know.
Don't let it mean something. Don't let this mean something in your brain. But what do we do with this information? What do I do with what I saw tonight?
First of all, I'm with you. I'm trying to tell myself that if he had just taken a big dump out there tonight, that I would just be first in line being like, you know what? It's Summer League, and he's playing at altitude. You know, that's like a hard thing to adjust to. You don't know what he's been dealing with. Like,
you did this at altitude.
Who knows? You know, and so I know that I would be that way. So I do hesitate to, take my clothes off and dance around, but I am probably going to do that later on. I don't know. I'm trying not to freak out about it, Andrew. And I know that it's part of it's just the homer in me, but when he's going behind his back so smooth on the move and stuff, like, I'm not really sure. Like, I didn't know that I knew that he had the, kind of like off the bounce, behind the back, between the legs into the little like spin Dirk one legger. Like, I knew he had that in high school against kids from like St. Paul.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that, you just didn't like, I think y'all's, Vicini, who's so smart. I know y'all are buds, and he's awesome. I love all of his stuff. I saw him mentioning tonight just about how a lot of times with these, and I don't know if he specified like with these longer dudes or whatever, but he was just basically like some of these guys, like it's hard to comprehend like what they have off the bounce at the collegiate level just because of what little spacing there is. And I think like especially so for Chet, where he's like not even playing the 5, right? Like he's got another big old tree down there in Timmy. And so I just didn't know that the off the bounce stuff was just super encouraging. And he like got a little loose with it at certain times, right? Like he let it get a little wide and he was maybe a little bit too high with it coming off of some spins, but that he was so comfortable doing it like off the dribble in the ways that he was doing it, not just like sort of like secondary break situations, but like off of isolations and stuff like that too. Like when they like just gave him the ball at the elbow and it like looked good, that was the point where I was like, oh, this is the part that I like hoped for, but thought like, I don't know. And the Jazz, that team, they suck. They're bad. Yeah, that's not a good team at all. And I'm for sure, maybe it's fool's gold or whatever, but yeah, it just looked really good. I don't know. I'm really excited. I was more than one person texted me and were like, are you like hard as a rock right now? What's going on?
And what'd you say?
I said, I
Actually intercepted one of these text messages from somebody, and I know what he said. It's really funny because I don't know how it really happened, but I
remind me. No, I blacked out for a little while, so I don't really remember
yeah.
what I said.
I intercepted one of your texts. It was good. It was a good text. Probably not down to dunk appropriate, but it was really good.
No, I think it was something in the lineage of the Ricky Bobby quote, "I'm as hard as a diamond in an ice storm right now." I don't think it was necessarily exactly that. And I don't want to be the guy who's like quoting Will Ferrell on a podcast. Like, I don't want to get struck by lightning or something.
This is the one.
Yeah.
This is the one that you do it on, though. Right?
But yeah,
what did you think? What did you think about this? I mean, I don't know how in you were on Chet. You usually kind of wait until you see these guys play in the league or in summer league to like really dive in. But this is your first, like, you've been baptized by Chet tonight. Like, what was your thought process, especially like the first quarter?
13.
Dude, okay, so I was late to the game, okay, because the person whose YouTube TV I was bumming off of, they canceled it. I was kicked off, so I had to find someone else. I know, complete loser. They better have died. Honestly, I was so pissed.
Yeah,
but I found out.
I hope they're dead.
Yeah, I hope they're dead. But I got on YouTube TV and I got on late, and I was completely shocked. I swear to God, my wife was trying to talk to me about something very serious. She's very pregnant. And she had a doctor's appointment today, and she was trying to talk to me about something very serious. And my heart was just gonna burst out of my chest watching Chet. He brought the ball up. I swear, the first clip I saw of Chet, they gave him the ball from out of bounds, and he brought the ball up, and he put the ball between his legs, behind his back, and pulled up from three with someone on him. I don't know who it was on him. I don't care who it was. And
they were no one. They were nobody to him. They were dead to him.
Yeah.
And then I went back and watched the first quarter and caught all the way up, and I was shocked. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was seriously confused. I was literally confused. And then he passed the ball to J-Dub, who dunked it. Like he's an amazing cutter, by the way. We'll talk about him later. I couldn't believe how good his feel was. He killed it too. He was 8 of 11, I think. But
yeah,
Chet, like I didn't know what I was watching.
Yeah, the offensive fluidity that he had, bringing the ball up the court, taking pull-up threes, the one turnaround Dirk fadeaway shot as well was unbelievable. I mean, you can tell now. So the Thunder clearly want him to be the center. He's their 5.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact, just seeing the floor just open up for him, because we haven't seen this player before, by the way. Like, this isn't the guy that was at Gonzaga, because he didn't have the space to do this. We saw him do this in transition some. But the way that he operated with the ball in his hands, there's not a lot of guys that are 7 feet tall that are going to they're going to throw him the ball at the top of the key. He's going to go get you a bucket. And he did that, and he did it with insane efficiency. And then on the defensive end, I mean, I don't know what you guys saw on Twitter today, but like everybody's like, "Oh man, Kofi Coburn is going to just destroy Chet."
People were saying that.
Why?
People were talking about Kofi Coburn.
Because
he's 100 pounds heavier.
Maybe 20 people say that to me today.
Kofi Coburn is hot. He does have a good body, and he is hot. Let's not shortchange Kofi Coburn just because we're complimenting Chet, Andrew. Let's not shortchange.
Chet
Kofi
made
Coburn.
him look like a non-NBA player.
Chet changed how you pronounce his last name.
Yeah.
How is it? What is it? Am I getting it way off?
Well, they pronounce it Cockburn.
Cockburn? Oh, geez.
Yeah, but after tonight, it should be pronounced differently.
Okay.
I think I was saying Coburn just now. Sheesh.
I think that's
you're
right,
good.
though.
Just look up the spelling. Real
I'm
quick.
high on the 6
Pretty
chat
good.
blocks. I'm just losing it on the 6 chat blocks.
we all
I'm
are,
I'm
brother.
inhaling
I'm right
those
up there
blocks
with
like
you.
whippets right now, man. I'm
Oh,
just
we
like
are floating.
He was unbelievable defensively. The one block, and I took a video of this and like tell my whole family just like be quiet so I can take a video of my TV because I don't know how to do other things sometimes.
no, it's
So I
hard to. These people that grab the clips, they're like these are magicians.
Yeah, I saw a video on my TV because I just have to. He blocks the ball to himself
Yeah.
and starts in transition.
But I was going to talk about that because that's the one where he right off the block he immediately goes behind the back to get like into transition. That was the one for me. That was the one for me where it was like it's not just controlling the block or just even being able to go with it. Right? It's like the athleticism on the move to be able to go behind the back there in the first place.
Yeah.
At 7-1, I'm fully prepared for this to be like all these people that were like Anthony Randolph is God. Like I'm fully prepared to be that guy. But I just like
summer, like you have to like zap yourself back to like this is summer league, but then it's like
I would be
also remember the play where somebody was trying to yam on him. He blocks them at the rim, gets the ball to Poku. Poku throws it to Josh. Josh throws it to Wiggins, and they done. And you're just like, this is my future. Like this is how I'm going to watch basketball for the next 10 years. Like that's it.
Yeah, I would be like way more tentative to be like, super duper pumped about it. If it was all like, if he was getting a lot of bunnies from like Giddey feeds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that's not what this was. It was like a bunch of shot making and like stuff off the dribble. And I like how quickly he was pulling. You could tell that it was like, this is just me watching. It seemed like he was sort of very decisive. Like if anybody is going to guard me, like I'm not a shooter for any moment, I'm pulling.
Yeah.
Like, and because it was immediate. Like when he caught that first one, it was, and he missed it, but it was immediate. And I like I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know what to do. What do you do?
Dude, I don't know how I'm going to make it through this podcast because you know what I feel like right now is I had appendicitis a couple of years ago, and that was the only time I've experienced opiates.
Yeah.
And I feel like that right now. Like there's a point when you hit the button and the drugs, they hit you right at the top of the head.
Right.
And they go down through your body and they shoot out through the bottom of your feet.
Right.
And you're just in euphoria. And I feel like that, right? I feel like that right now.
Yeah. He's a shooter. That was the one thing that just really stuck out. I think some people questioned, oh, well, did you see his half-court efficiency at Gonzaga? Is he really a shooter? He's definitely a shooter. Like, you watch him at the free throw line, like, he is so comfortable. I mean, he hit all of his free throws. You're right. He doesn't hesitate. The ball hits his hands. If he's open, he's gonna let it go.
It was honestly the type of thing where it was like it was like a point of emphasis for him or for the coaching staff or for whoever's like in his ear, like trying to sort of talk to him about like, hey, here's how you set the tone. Like, here's how you like you sort of like show what you think of yourself and how you like, start like that. It was that like nothing tentative, like, attacking from jump. And that was, it was just great. I mean, the 6 blocks, it was hilarious that he was surprised that 6 blocks is like not a lot of blocks to him, that's not like record worthy in his mind. That's hilarious to me. And I'm sure he's going to get bodied time and time again by much stronger dudes, but it was fun to see him be able to handle at least dudes that were, for in every way bigger, were like thicker than he was, for him to be able to, stand them up and handle them. I mean, he met Taco at the rim. I know Taco got the rebound and dunked or whatever, but like that's, like it. What, like, Andrew, how much of because I know you watch way more of this stuff than I do. Like, were you like going back and watching some of his high school stuff and like, because I know that like watching some of that stuff, there was stuff off the bounce, but it wasn't like, I don't know, it just didn't look as smooth or like. Were you how surprised were you? Is my ridiculously? I was asking such a short question in a long way. I'm so sorry. How surprised were you at his ability to be able to do some of that off the bounce?
Off the bounce, I was pretty surprised. I think the stuff that I think most people that love Chet point to is the stuff that he did like for U19.
Right.
Like that's where everybody's like, okay, this is where he dominated his peers. Like every single year, this is the type of environment where you can see what he is. And so he looks more like that, but he's clearly just better though than he was, a year ago.
Honestly, like one of the things that I thought, and this is probably unfair, and there are other reasons to dislike this person, but the whole time that I was like, after he hit his second three, I was like, is Mark Few the worst coach in the world? Like, what's going on? What are we doing?
They were kind of fighting Chet a little bit.
And it's like, I get, like, yeah, you got Nembhard there, you got Timmy there, you're trying to be deferential or whatever. Like, you're not trying to, be coming in, cock of the walk or whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, watching that, like, what are you doing? Like, you're putting him in the corner, like, letting him, like, catch, like, Timmy kickouts. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. It's one game. He might suck. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know.
This is one summer league game. We'll see but it did look different.
Yeah, I don't know.
You can see where there'll be a game where he shoots, 4 of 12 or whatever.
You know who else did? KD did too.
Yeah, that's just what basketball.
LeBron does that sometimes. Steph does sometimes too.
Yeah, I know.
That's true.
It happens.
It would be better if he did, because then he would for sure be exactly like them. If he would go 4 for 12 the next game, I would honestly think more of him. Because that's what the greats do. The greats go 4 for 12.
That is what the greats do. Exactly. Hey, do we remember Trae Young summer league? Oh God, he sucked.
It was funny that they referenced that. They they talked about that at the beginning. I feel, or I don't know if you fast forwarded through that part or not or whatever, but they and who was wasn't paying close enough attention to who were the announcers. Was that just the Utah dudes, like the normal Utah dudes, and they just gave them the slot, or who was that?
Well, I don't know who those guys are. They didn't they let no that was Minnesota. I don't know who those guys are.
I never liked it.
Terrible though. They were terrible. There was one point Taco Fall had the ball in the post, and he tried to back someone down. I don't know who it was. It doesn't matter who it was. And the dude barely moved. And Taco Fall puts up a hook shot or something, and it's an air ball. And the broadcast said, "You know what? That's good that Taco Fall didn't give up on that play." I was like, what is this? Because then 2 minutes before that, they were talking about Poku and Chet being the Thin Towers, which I'm not a fan of that nickname. That needs to end.
You don't like the Thin Towers?
I don't like it.
I guess it is the normal Utah Jazz TV commentators. So.
Oh, is that who it is? Is that who it is? Actually is? Okay. I wasn't sure. I couldn't tell if it was that David Locke voice or not. I could never tell.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I hear him, he's comes off a little bit too smarmy for me, and I know that's probably a nice guy, but
yeah, Locke just says radio.
Yeah.
And his Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
That's right. He's the namesake.
He is.
That's right.
The franchise.
Oh, he's what a legend.
I know.
Franchised out his own name.
Okay, there were other players in this game. It's difficult to talk about them because this is all about Chet. And this is kind of what I was trying to say after the draft is really, if you don't like that they traded 3 picks for Ousmane Dieng, who cares? It's just it's a small piece of the Thunder's draft pie. Chet is the piece of it.
Real quick, I like to think about Sam Presti being this excited as we are right now when they drafted Chet.
Yeah.
And so when the Dieng thing came up, they were 3 picks. He was like, F it. Yeah, dude, whatever. Yeah, come on, let's go. Whatever.
He was
you want 4?
He was 3 beers deep, and he was like, Did you guys see him against China in 2019? It was unreal. And then he gets a call from whoever, and they're he gets a call from the director of Insight and Harmony or whatever, and they're like, hey Sam, hey, Leon says if you want to throw the third in, he's good to go. And he's like, yeah.
It's yeah, dude, no problem.
Oh man. Let's talk Josh Giddey, who I thought played really well. I thought the passing and transition was there. He did hit a 3, which looked mostly the same to me. I didn't really see anything different about it. But he played, he was composed. Tayshaun, what'd you think?
I thought he looked like he was 25 or 26 and had been playing in the league for 7 years, and they put him out there to be a coach, like on the floor. Like he looked so composed and he was so slow and he didn't really need the ball. He was trying to get the ball to the other players. It was crazy to me. Like, how old is Josh right now? Is he 20?
No,
He's younger than Chet.
he's 19. Yeah.
Dude, that was just weird. It was weird to see and then remind myself that he's such a boy still, because his game is so mature. Even after just that 1 year in the NBA, he looked like this is Poku's third time to be in the summer league.
This is his first summer league game ever, actually.
Oh,
You wanna get-
what's that, babe? Oh, hold on, my wife's calling me.
He's gone now. I thought Josh was great. It was
I'm
really
with
fun
you.
to watch him play with this group, because you could see how much fun he was having guys that he knew could play basketball to his level out there with him.
It did have the at a few points there was the counselor playing with the kids kind of vibe. Like a few different points in transition or whatever, whenever he was just sort of tall, like bigger, narrow body, and like you say, like just very unhurried, right? And he just sort of seemed like, yes, and even the announcers commented on it, right? Like that he was sort of clear that he's like, not his first rodeo. And I don't know, even I was watching with my wife, who knows basketball and is smart about it. But even she was like, wasn't he a starter? Why is he playing in summer league?
Yeah.
And I honestly had not thought of it like that. In my head, I had always just been thinking like, well, yeah, he's a second year player. Like they probably want to see chemistry or whatever. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's very weird that a starter is playing in summer. Like I think it says a lot about him, not just that he would do it, but that he would do it and not mail it in, and that he would sort of very quickly kind of clearly be a little bit too good for it, right? Like I would be shocked if they play him anymore.
Yeah, he's not going to play a whole lot more. I think they may play him because they play 3 games in 3 nights here in Utah.
Yeah.
I would guess he's going to at least play 1 more game.
You think so? Okay, that's good. I'm glad. I'm glad that I'm at this point. I'm hoping that Chet plays on the 9th when I'm in Vegas. I'm just praying that they haven't pulled the plug, and I think that they will, because honestly, like, why would you even play him? Why would you play him tomorrow even? And I don't want that. Like I want him to play, but why would you? Honestly.
Yeah. Someone in the chat said that Giddey is the youngest player on the summer league roster.
That's wild. And that is he younger
That
than
is
Ding?
insane.
I think Jeng is younger than him.
I thought Ding was 18. Is he 19? Is he like an old 19?
He's turned 19, but Jeng is younger.
Okay.
But they're close.
Well, then stop reading the comments, guys. Seriously.
ESPN just did a newser on David Holt's tweet about he just
no, they did, because Blythe, my wife, during the game they did it, because she was like, "Hey, I didn't know the OKC mayor watched the whatever."
David Holt, who may or may not be in the chat. What's up, Mayor Holt?
D. Holt.
He tweeted, "I will not overreact to summer league over and over again." They did a newser on it. Like this is how you know you have a star, guys. Is that you get newsers about the Oklahoma City mayor on ESPN.com, and people are clicking on it.
No, Taylor, you go.
No, seriously, it's not worth it. Please.
No, honestly, I didn't I was like started and I had an idea, but I wasn't really sure. I didn't have my feet on the ground. You know what I mean? You should go.
I never do. I've had my feet on the ground for like 2.5 hours now.
Do you think that like one of the things that I've been like whenever I would have the little doubt in my head about Chet like creep in, like, are you sure like he is white and he like
looks Satan, dude. That's Satan, dude.
I know. Hey man, dude, for sure, but like he is powerful. I think that sucks, but he is powerful. I think if we're being honest about it, I think if we're reading the Bible, he is powerful. You know what I mean? No, but I'm saying like I'm saying Satan is powerful. That's what I want. That's what I want on my tombstone. I want Satan is powerful on my tombstone.
Oh my gosh.
If you're reading the Bible,
Tyler, how did the podcast go? I don't know. Around the 26-minute mark, I started talking about Satan, I guess. I'm not sure. I thought I had two Bodum tall boys, and I think I had three, and I just was off. No, do you like one of the things that I kept telling myself was like, I'm sure that all the criticisms that Chet received, like the too skinny, like, is he athletic enough? Is the shot real? Is he actually going to be able to physically withstand the beating of, like, the highest level of competition? I'm sure he's been dealing with that at every level, right? Like, I'm sure before, like, all in AAU ball, like there are YouTube videos of like Chet Holmgren versus Paolo Banchero at, whatever fancy tournament that I've never heard of, you know what I mean? And he's performed better than Paolo, or just as good, I do some, that would be like I know that's a very silly thing to say, but sometimes I would like try to think about it in those terms, just because he is such a unique, like never before seen, like type of prospect. I would find myself sort of like falling back on the like, yeah, but it's worked at the highest level that he's been able to be at from at every point that, what I'm saying? Like every checkpoint he's crossed with flying colors. And that was something that after the first quarter, and again, I feel like I'm going to give this caveat many times. He could suck. He could be terrible. He could, maybe maybe he explodes tomorrow. I don't know. Maybe he combusts.
Satan.
He could be Satan. Who knows? We'll see. But no, but that I don't know. It's just, I feel like I'm way off base right now, but I was just, super, super encouraged. And I wonder if it's going to be the type of like Evan Mobley, Cade Cunningham, Luka sort of thing where all of the criticisms become like very stupid very quickly. And there's a world where that's not true. Right. But I do, it was exciting to see. I think just like how dominating, like it's it's one thing to play well. It's another thing to have, you said it was 8 shots.
9.
9. Yeah. 23 on 9 shots. It was 7 boards, 6 blocks.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And he had a couple assists too. And like he's scoring from, in those 9 shots, he scored from every possible way you can score.
Yeah, that's a good point. He was
like that's
all
crazy.
Levels. Yeah.
Yeah. In 9 shots. Like the offensive like variety that this guy brings is just crazy. And he's bringing the ball up.
Yeah. Bringing the ball up court. So you guys know me. You know that I'm like fully invested in the tank, and that I would prefer they tank another year.
Oh, I can't wait for this.
This is the first time I've had just a little shard of doubt creep in. This might be Satan. I don't know.
That's God, brother. That's God, brother.
This might be God. I'm hoping it's God. That they might not be able to.
I don't even think.
I thought, and it was stupid because it's one summer league game. It's honestly 1/4 of one summer league game that thought hit my brain. And
Amen.
I thought there is a chance that maybe they can't do it.
PTL.
I was worried about their ability to effectively tank just because of Shea, just in honestly, like in general at this point, like, because I don't know how, like, I don't think that I think that Presti would do it, but I think that it would be probably for the most part poorly received, right? If he like shut Shea down for another extended period of time. Yeah. And I think unless that shutting down of Shea happens, the team plays too hard. And especially now, like if Chet is actually going to be able to, be effective on the back line of the defense this early, right? Like it's not like they're going to stop playing hard on defense, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like the same as you, Andrew, right? Like for me, like losses have been wins, right?
Mhm.
And the scariest thing in the world is whenever we're like within like, arm distance and Shea's cooking, right? Like it's like if you get, he's the type of dude, he's the kind of shot maker that if you keep it close enough late, like you got a shot.
Yeah.
And I think that like that's especially so that can be especially the case when you like add another like year of maturity onto Giddey's belt and all this other sort of stuff. But just the Shea thing, like in and of itself, I feel like he's just too good to like be able, unless you do just because I mean it's not as if it hasn't been relatively blatant thus far, but that would be like pretty if it happened for a third, second half of the season or whatever. I think that'd be a different sort of
the levers you have to pull to get there. Because something they were missing was just like rim defense last year. They had to kind of manufacture it in ways that wasn't like a genuine like rim protector. I mean, they would wall off, they would switch, they would keep Poku, just straight up at the rim a lot, and like it worked. It's great. They defended big guys really well. Like now you have a guy that can like genuinely defend at a level that nobody. And I know, man, basically the more blocks than fouls stat is something that I really loved. This guy's on a different level than almost anybody they've had since Serge, honestly. And I think that he's got a much higher ceiling than Serge does as a defender. Serge is a great shot blocker.
Well, he's just started off like so much more, like he's just so much more ahead of where Serge was at this point. And I mean, part of it's right. Like Serge didn't start playing basketball until much later, but like Serge was jumping at every single thing for years.
Yes.
And Chet is already really good at not doing that.
Yes.
You couldn't play Serge more than like 15 minutes at the start of when he was really getting minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was getting 5 fouls in 15 minutes. But like going back to the Shea thing real quick, if Chet is, I don't know, 75% of what we saw tonight, right? Mm-hmm. Let's just say that in the regular season.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Like, what do you can't.
I'm obnoxious. You can't talk to me for a year. I'm so obnoxious if that happens.
Dude, and you can't tank because look at what they had to do last year. There was like 10 players on the injured list the second half of last year. And that roster is nothing compared to this one coming up with these rookies. And Jalen Williams was like, okay, so this is just this scorer that's off the bench that is big. Like he was bigger than I thought he was going to be.
He's big. Well, I've been kind of saying that I think that he's going to play in a lot of different spots. Like I think he'll play some at the 4. He's going to play at the 3.
Yeah.
He can play guard.
He had like a lot of. I mean, I know like people knew that, but like a lot of feel, real smooth, real sure-footed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like you're not like at no point are you like, whoa, settle down. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have any of that.
It's a lot like Giddey tonight, where he just no one was going to speed him up. There were points where the Jazz were like full court pressing, like trying to pressure him, get the ball from him, and he's just like, no. Like you're not going to speed me up.
Yeah, well, and a dude like him, a pick that was as high as him, who made an impression like he did, who everybody just sort of roundly agrees is like, yeah, this guy's good. You know, all those dudes that are starting there that get a chance to guard him are like, if I do a good job here, maybe this gets me a gig. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like he's getting every single best effort, right? And that he looked so almost like above it. You know what I mean? Like he did really look too good for it for summer league.
Yeah.
And I think that was super encouraging. Like, I don't know if they could have gotten away with playing him in summer league if he was just some unbelievable shot maker. You know what I'm saying? But like, I think the type of player that he is, they could get away with maybe putting him on the roster for a little bit, but like, it just feels like don't get him hurt playing against the Grizzlies summer league team. Like I love David Roddy, but I don't want him bumping into, him and hurting him. You know what I mean?
Oh,
but just keep him safe. Don't, let's just work on the hair and, work on the shot and let's just take it easy.
I love the way that Jalen Williams played tonight. Like he just continued to attack the basket. He had like a couple dunks too, like one from Chet, where Chet finds him perfectly on the cut. He has a one-hand dunk that was super nice. I love the way he plays. He plays like a Thunder guard. You know, he reminds me of Shea. Like he doesn't have like the long arms that Shea does, but he kind of has like the patience as he's kind of going around screens, and he just knows how to play basketball.
I'll be the one.
The other like baseline cut, I think, was for like a two-hander from Josh.
Yeah.
He just knows how to play.
I'll be the one to say this so that you two don't have to. But two other players that played at really small schools that were kind of like the only offensive threat on their team.
Yeah.
Whereas Dame Lillard and CJ McCollum.
It's true.
I'll say it. Taylor Dickerson said that. God's Chet, Tayshaun. So if it goes bad, you guys are good. But
yeah, he had 17 points.
You both nodded.
I mean, it was impressive. Only took 11 shots.
And
he played well.
And he's the type. I mean, he's the type of guy like y'all know. I don't know if y'all. I know that you. I don't know if you know him, but I know that you know who he is, Andrew. That Kyle Mann, who does a lot of the Pods the Ringer video stuff.
Yep.
Good buddy, and I just think he's a smart guy who you know. Okay. I hate it when people say does the work, but he does the work.
He's
dude
amazing.
Puts his nose to the ground.
I hate it when people are like, he does his job. What a guy. he's like, well, okay, like so do I. Like, all right, but all that to say, I'm saying that as I don't like that phrase. Kyle is awesome and my good buddy, and yeah, he's like a big Jalen Williams fan, and after the draft was just instantly like, dude, because the Jalen Williams was like a blind spot for me. Like he wasn't like a guy who like I like grabbed onto and was like trying to like go watch a bunch of stuff about. Like he slipped through whatever, you know, and he just started texting me immediately like, hey, I mean he's a big Chet guy in the first place, but then whenever Jalen came off the board at 12. The game at 6'6" with a 7'2" wingspan, like you can against a lot of modern playoff lineups, like there's a world where he's your 4, you know, if you need to, and especially with like a, you know, whatever his standing reach is, right? Like it's, you know, like, I mean, and who knows, maybe the league does with the Gobert trade, it shifts back to, you know, the Bynum Gasol days, and it's all these twin tower big bigs, and the idea of a 6'4" man is just laughable, but I'm not sure about that. Yeah. I don't buy into the thing that I've seen some people say about the Thunder, where it's like, are they going to be able to have all of these dudes who need the ball? And at least thus far, the way that Daignault's been setting stuff up is right. There's like a lot of like dribble weave stuff. There's a lot of like, let's figure out who has the best matchup and then let's attack. Like they want a lot of dudes to be able to handle it. It's also just like, look around at the teams that are left standing. Like you need a bunch of dudes that are threats with the ball in their hands. It does nobody any, like the idea of the, like, you know, oh my gosh, the Mavericks have Anton Jameson, Nick Van Exel, and Rafe LaFrance, and Steve Nash, and Dirk Nowitzki. There's not enough basketballs in the world for that. Like, I just don't agree with that sort of thing anymore, really. Like, not that reasoning. Yeah. And so it like, I'm thrilled that it seems like he's really going to be able to handle it. You know what I mean? That's such a huge deal to be able to get a guy who projects to be that steady on the ball. Like what a luxury to be able to have that, right? Like when you have Shea and Giddey already, like what a big deal.
Yeah. Andrew, you and Michele on Monday were talking about what it means to be a playmaker. Mm-hmm. And I thought this was a really good, interesting point. You were talking about how we generally think of playmakers as like passers, right? Point guards or whatever, point forwards. But really, it's this idea of like, no, it's a guy that just knows what the right play to make is right then. If it's to score, if it's to drive, if it's to pass, if it's to cut, that's a playmaker. And it seems like Presti is putting together a team of high IQ guys that have good feel and that are playmakers. So it's like this idea, Tyler, that you were talking about, that there's not enough balls. It's like if everyone on the court is a playmaker and they're all offensive threats, then there is enough balls.
J-Dub was doing that tonight. Yeah, J-Dub was doing that tonight. He made several cuts that you were just like, oh, okay. Like he knows where the point guard should be passing to.
Yeah.
And he was doing it. And it was, gosh, it was so impressive. And I said earlier he doesn't have the wingspan. He does have the wingspan. He's just different than Shea. And I'm trying to like put my finger on it.
Wait, who are you talking about?
I'm talking about J-Dub and Shea.
Okay, yeah.
Shea's just, his length just feels different to me.
I think Shea's long. I think Shea's like, I think that Jalen's length is arms, and I think that Shea's length is in his legs.
Yeah.
And I think that Shea off the bounce, the way that he gets advantages is with those like strides.
Yeah.
Like I don't think. I mean, he's obviously like his wingspan. He's no slouch like wingspan wise, right? But I think that like that has always been the thing that stood out to me with Shea is like that his athleticism and his explosiveness is just so different than the standard kind where it's like it's not like jumping off the screen, right? It's like that kind of subtle kind where it's like, oh wait, I didn't know that he could stretch that far, like from a standstill.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It's like Harden like 5 years ago,
right? Totally.
When he would come off a screen or drive like that.
Totally,
stuff is really intriguing. Where Jalen's like he's just more straight up, like just gonna beat somebody off the bounce.
All the Jalen stuff though, like, and maybe it's nothing, and I'm sure it's like if it was any other team, I'd be like, it wouldn't even fucking register with me. You know what I mean? Like it would just be nothing. But like, it always makes me happy when I see our guys. Geez, Tyler. It always makes me happy when Thunder players,
our boys.
Geez, get out of here, Tyler. Get out of here. It always when you see Thunder players who can like do like live dribble passes with their left and like be accurate about it, because that feels like it's becoming more and more of like a thing that you like kind of gotta have if you're going to be on the perimeter and like coming off the bounce at all. And he looked smooth doing that. Yeah, I like Taylor. I loved your thing about like, you know, Dame and CJ and stuff like that. I don't think that that's crazy that like there's something to like having a bunch of responsibility whenever you're in college and being asked to do a lot and having a lot of pressure on your shoulders. Like, I think that whenever you get into I don't think he's going to play like a young guy. Like, he doesn't seem like the type of guy who's going to play like a young guy. You know what I mean? Like I think that there's I really do think that there's something to that.
Don't have a famous coach. Like Chet.
Mark Few, who thinks players shouldn't be paid. He was like, what? He's like, please, the Supreme Court, stop this. This is the end of the world. Please, you're our last chance. Don't pay players.
Don't pay these men. Don't pay people.
Honestly, he lost last year's title that day, probably. Like, if we're like calling it, like, get out of here. Get out of here with that, Mark. Come on.
Taylor, give me like a few sentences on Poku, on your thoughts on him tonight.
Oh, I think he's gonzo.
Oh, come on.
Third year.
Behind the back, save it from out of bounds after he almost.
Dude, there were just too many. Listen, you know, I've been off Poku train. In the regular season, I was off the Poku train. I'm off the Poku train. I'm tired of it. I don't like thin towers. I don't like Poku. It's his third year. I don't care if it's his first summer league game ever. He's played a lot of regular season games. It's not there. It's like I just don't see it. I don't see it. I see a freak show, which I thought was good at first. I thought it was good a year ago, 2 years ago. And I'm just done with it. Is that enough sentences?
Yeah, that's okay. Tyler, give me some thoughts on maybe the other Jalen Williams, Jeremiah, anybody else that you saw tonight.
Well, one of the things that I did think watching, J.R.E. getting 10 rebounds is like kind of nuts to me. I didn't realize that. It wasn't like it was like one of those you hear
Dude,
quiet.
he was very good tonight too.
And he had a great pass at one point, off the dribble. He had a great pass. I forget who it was to. It was on the Thunder's end of the court. It might have, I can't remember if it was first half or second half. A great pass, off the dribble, kind of tight window kind of thing. Terrible goatees. Got to get rid of it. Somebody's got to talk to him. They got to get in his ear. He's got to get rid of that. He's got to get rid of it. And it's they let Perk deal with that Pharaoh beard. They let him have that for way too long. Yeah. That's not the reason we lost the title, but I do think it was a contributing factor. Durant had the Pharaoh beard for a while. You got to get rid of it. It's just not. You got to do it full. Whatever. I'm losing my mind here. No, one of the things I did think about Jalen Williams, about Jay Will, is that what is that him? The Arkansas Jay Will. It made me think that Chet, a fun thing could. I was going into it thinking Chet at the 5 will be the fun thing. Chet at the 4 might be the fun thing.
Yeah.
After tonight, Chet because that Jalen Williams just seems like the type of guy who knows exactly what he is. He is not going to try to do anything other than set screens, dive, and try to be at the rim and try to make a mess of things, right? That seems it seems like if nothing else, he knows exactly what he is. And I could see a world he seems like the type of dude that Daignault would be oh yeah, I will love this. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't he seem like such a Thunder dude?
Yes.
So, yes. I could totally see a world where whatever they're, JRE's out, whatever. Who knows what happens with Favors. I could totally see a world where there's a lot of Jalen Williams at the 5, Chet at the 4, I don't know if Jalen Williams can be as switchy as Chet. It seems like he might be able to be on the perimeter or whatever, but I could see that. I could see that happening, if only because of how steady he seems like he might be able to be.
Yeah.
I get Nick Collison vibes from his game a little bit.
Yeah.
I think younger and more athletic for sure, but I get that Nick Collison kind of glue guy. He's just going to do everything else for the team.
Yeah. There's no doubt. I think that's the idea. Okay. Let's end it here. This is a summer league game.
Yes.
It was one of the most fun summer league games I've ever watched. It was one that meant, maybe it doesn't mean a whole lot in the grand scheme of things. It meant a lot to me tonight. So that's all that I can tell you.
Me too, brother.
Tyler, thanks so much for coming on.
Dude, thanks.
Stuff at the Ringer.
Thanks for asking. Always great to talk to y'all. And yeah, dude, this was, like you say, super duper fun. And what a fun time. It's just a fun time.
It's just the best. Tayshaun, thanks so much for being here on a Tuesday pod, just a random Tuesday pod here. We didn't talk about Ousmane Dieng. I loved that he just shot the ball whenever he felt like he should shoot the ball.
Byron, Andrew.
He had some transition. He had some stuff where he's driving toward the rim. He had some anti-aggression moves, which I didn't love. He's a work in progress. It was fun to see him out on the court. Defensively, I actually really liked what I saw from him.
He looked smooth enough. He didn't look outside of his element or anything. He looked I liked how he was moving. I mean, he didn't make anything, but
no, he didn't. But he was letting it fly, and I loved it. And I hope to see more of that.
I hope they play him so much. Yeah.
Me too. All right. Thanks so much for listening. Appreciate you guys. I'll be in Las Vegas. If you guys are going to be there, come say hello. We'll be doing live shows for the Athletic NBA show at 2:00 on Friday, Saturday, Sunday for sure.
Are y'all doing those at Mandalay? Where are y'all doing those?
We're doing those on the concourse of the Thomas and Mack.
Oh, okay. So, I will for sure try to distract in some way. I will try to come by and do some sort of, very offensive hand gesture.
Please do. Would love to see you guys there as well. If you're going to be there, let me know. Send me a DM or something, and we can have a little down to dunk meet and greet. So hope you guys are doing well, and we'll talk to you guys again.
Andrew, next pod, I want to talk about how weird it is that Bazley just gave up number 7 to a rookie with no issues. I think that's a problem.
I think it says that Bazley knows where he stands.
I think it's a big problem, and I think it tells us a lot about Baisley, but we'll get into that more next pod. Tease.